Hi everybody, Brent Jones, New Home Source Realty. How are you? I want to do a quick little Facebook Live about selling your house, just kind of the ABCs of selling your house and some of the basic concerns that a lot of sellers have, questions they have. We're not going to get into it in tons of detail because I've done that in other videos, but let's just hit some of the highlights of the pros and cons and trials and tribulations of you trying to sell your house. Before we get started, click notifications, follow me, like this video, and leave a comment. So let's talk about some of the basic concerns that sellers have when thinking about selling their house. One of the biggest questions that I get is, when's the best time of year to put your house on the market? Well, I would say in the seller's market, there's not a bad time of the year because there's such a demand for houses here. But in answer to that question more specifically, springtime is typically traditionally the best time of the year to put your house on the market. Why is that? Well, because you may or may not realize this, but we as humans, we hibernate. We come fall and winter, we go into our houses and we stay there until springtime, and then we come back out when the weather warms up. So the saying in real estate is, as the weather cools off, so does the market. As the weather warms up, so does the market. So typically springtime is the best time to put your house on the market. One of the next questions that I get a lot is improvements. How much money should we spend in getting our house ready to put on the market? And I've talked about this before. I'm not one of those realtors where I think you need to knock out walls and redo the master bathroom and spend tens of thousands of dollars. I just don't believe it. I would say if there's a major deficiency that you're aware of, let's address it, because it's going to do two things. It's like pay me now or pay me later. You're going to have to address it eventually. So why don't you just go ahead and take care of it? So for instance, if there's something that you know is a problem, like say for instance, an electrical panel, there's a plumbing problem, the HVAC is shot. I mean, you know it's going to come up on the inspection. Let's just go ahead and take care of it now. Let's just take care of it. The other thing would be carpet and paint. We've talked about this in other videos before. If your carpet, and again, I've been doing this for 32 years. I've been in houses where when I walk across a carpet, I feel like going outside and burning my shoes. I mean, that's just how nasty the carpet is. If for some reason your carpet is like that, let's talk seriously about replacing it. If the paint is just, it's bad, it's dingy, it's dirty, it's bizarre colors, let's talk about painting your house too, because here's the thing. Most people do not have very good imaginations. Most people only see what they see and they don't see what it could be. So if you've got horrible, nasty, stained, worn, torn carpet and you've got purple walls, that's all they're going to see. So that would be, if you have a deficiency like that, we need to talk about it. But if it's just normal kind of stuff, just normal wear and tear, probably not in this market. I would suggest that you declutter the house. Any furniture that you don't need, take it out, get a storage building or put it in the garage. Less is more when it comes to listing your house. All the family portraits and pictures and everything, I'm not saying take down everything. You don't have to take down everything. But if your house is just overly cluttered with pictures, overly cluttered with furniture to where you have to turn sideways to walk into the family room, let's talk about getting rid of some of that clutter. That kind of stuff. If you have tons of stuff out on the kitchen counters and tons of stuff out in the bathroom counters, let's put that up, because it just makes your house look cluttered and makes it look small. The other question would be, if you have made improvements, like a roof or a swimming pool or a deck or a pergola or whatever, how much value can you expect to get back from that? Well, I'm going to tell you, you cannot get dollar for dollar. So for instance, to keep the math simple, you put in a $100,000 swimming pool. That does not mean you get to bump the price of your house $100,000. Kind of the rule of thumb is you can get about 25%, 25 to 33%. So about a quarter to a third of what you spent, basically. But what it would do is, if you have made improvements, it would just make your house shine and be heads and shoulders above the other homes that you would be competing against in your particular area. One other major concern, excuse me, is that in this market, people don't want to put their house on the market and sell because there's nothing for them to go buy. They're not going to sell and become homeless when they have no place to go. They would rather, even though they've got tons of equity in their house, they would rather stay there and sit on that equity than to sell it and then just have to go buy anything because they're desperate to buy something and now they have to settle. I've got a unique solution to that. I would say, let's go looking first before we put your house on the market. Let's go find where you would move first. Let's put the cart before the horse. Let's go see what you would do, and then we'll talk about selling your house, because we can sell your house. We can sell your house quickly. That's not the question. The question is, where are you going to move? So let's get that question answered. Let's go find where you would move. And also, I have a program called Perfect Home Finder where I can find you houses that are not on the MLS. Okay, so instead of you looking at the overpriced, picked over houses and you're one of 35 offers, we can go find you pre-listed houses that are not on the MLS. You tell me where you want to be and let me spend my money and try to go find it for you. So a couple of unique programs there. Let's go look first, and let's go look at non-MLS houses. As far as putting your house on the market, I've got 4 options for you there. Putting your house on the market, selling your house. You can do the traditional listing where we fill out a listing agreement. I put it on the MLS. We take photographs, let the games begin. We're going to start having showings. I'm going to coordinate. I personally coordinate all the showings, so there's not a mistake. And you didn't know that you had a showing Tuesday at 2 o'clock and you're sitting in your pajamas and here flies open your front door and here come in a bunch of strangers. That's never going to happen. I personally handle and coordinate all the listings myself. You will always know ahead of time when you're going to have a showing, but traditional listing would be option number 1. Option number 2, how about a really fast listing? How about you let me list your house for 3, 5, 7 days? And if you don't think I'm performing like I tell you I'm going to, we're only married for 3, 5, 7 days. Let's have a very, very, very short-term listing. Let me put your house on the market. Let me market it, and I've got unique ways of marketing it. Let me see if I can find you a buyer in 3, 5, 7 days. And if not, then we'll talk about whether we mutually want to continue forward. Here's another twist on that. What if you let me have a short-term listing, but there were no showings? And in these COVID times, a lot of people are really hesitant about allowing strangers into their house, right? Because, I mean, they do or they don't have COVID. Who knows? The world is so insane these days as we're going into our 3rd year of this insanity. But a lot of people are hesitant to put their house on the market because they don't want strangers walking through it, and I get that. So if we put it on the market and didn't have showings, we could do, we would take tons of great photographs and video, and I could give prospective buyers a virtual tour of your house, and it's the next best thing to being there. And we could get a contract, and then after we've gotten the contract, then they could physically come see it once we're under contract. Now that might take a little bit longer, so instead of 3, 5, 7 days, maybe more like 5, 7, 9 days. But again, that would be a very short-term listing, and it would be a listing with nobody coming through your house. So think about how great that would be. 4th option would be full price home sale. If you just don't want to list your house at all, it's just, you know what, just throw me a number. What would the number be? Well, give me a cash offer where there's no showings, no inspections, and we're going to close in 2 weeks. What would that be like? I've got a service, full price home sale, where we can make you a full price cash offer. And this is not going to be a discount. It's not like, okay, we're going to give you 10 cents on the dollar. That's not that nonsense at all. Full price home sale would pay you whatever homes are selling for in your subdivision. Okay? So 4 different options there: traditional listing, 3, 5, 7 day listing, 5, 7, 9 day listing with no showings, and then full price home sales. So feel free to contact me with any of this. I've been doing this for 32 years. I have a 98% approval rating on Google. Happy to help any way that I can. Call me. Brent Jones, 214-649-4528. Text me, Brent Jones, 214-649-4528. Or email me. Happy to help. Have a great day. Bye-bye.